At Holloway and Hulling, we deliver the results that Grizz fans deserve. If you've been charged with a criminal offense or a DUI, we will fight to defend your rights.
If you've been injured in an accident, we have the offense to get you the compensation you deserve.
Choose the right team. Choose Holloway and Hulling for proven criminal defense and personal injury legal services, a proud partner of Grizzly Athletics. Visit us soon at our new downtown location or check out our website for more information.
At first I thought he had a piece of toilet paper, like an old shaving injury or something, like the tough guys used to do. You put the toilet paper on the neck, but no, you're really just covered in spackle because you're remodeling your house. So this sounds awful, and I appreciate you making time to have fun with us while you're in the middle of this project.
Yeah, it's actually a welcome break, Colter. I'm finishing my basement at the moment, and I'm kind of doing it on my own. And I know what you guys are probably thinking, like, hey, you're a lawyer, maybe you should pay for someone to do that. And that's a great idea. However, the Montanan in me makes me notoriously cheap when it comes to things that I can do myself. And when I get quoted for like, hey, I'll run the wires in your basement, it's 17 grand. I'm like, the wire costs $500. Like, what are you talking about? So I've been doing, each time I get a quote, I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna do it on my own. So right now I'm mudding. I did the electrical, I did the plumbing, had a friend do the framing for really, really cheap. And so I'm near, and then I'll do the paint, and then the carpet. So it's a it's a lot of work to be done, but I'm not paying $80 a square foot to finish my basement. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
Hey, I get you. So here's my conundrum. My wife we have a brand new house. She wants Christmas lights. I used to have the process for the Christmas lights at the old house. It was easy. All I needed was a step stool. Okay. But now it's bigger house, bigger arches. I don't have a ladder. My brother had a ladder, but his father-in-law stole it and then lost it. How do you lose a ladder? Nobody knows, but they somehow lost it. So our family ladder is non-existent. So then I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? So I was like, okay, I'm just going to call somebody. I'll just call somebody and see if they'll do it. I get a quote the other day. All I want is like two 12-foot arches with multicolored lights.
Yeah.
$1,200 was
no, do not do it.
I was like, okay, what is it going to cost me to fall off the ladder and go to the emergency room? Is it less than $1,200 or more than $1,200? Maybe I should just go get a ladder. But now I'm running out of days and I'm super busy. So what do? Should I just tell this guy I should trade him advertising to do my Christmas lights, or is that a waste of ad space?
I don't know. You got to ask your other sponsors and whether or not they'd like that encroaching.
Maybe we'll call Holloway and Hulling and say, "Hey, Nate, you want to pay for my Christmas lights for bonus episodes of Talkin Schmidt?"
Yes, and I'll give you guys all my rundown on house decorations because I am the best at it. Look, it's like usually I'm being full of myself just as a bit. But guys, I am actually the best at this. I am a holiday illumination specialist, no matter the holiday. So no, buy yourself a ladder, Colter.
Just buy the ladder and do it. Okay.
Just buy a ladder. It's less than $1,200.
All I ever remember when I was a child is the only time my parents ever fought was when they were putting up the Christmas lights. And I have like PTSD over this. So I just don't want to. I don't fight with my wife either. So I don't want to do this. So, but maybe I just have to.
I'll send. Yeah, I'll send you what I have. I'll put it up on Twitter at the moment.
Great.
Like I have my Halloween house, which everyone knows about, which is kind of a spite house. And then I do Christmas, and then I didn't want a gap between the two. So I have like a 12-foot turkey and a bunch of other turkey inflatables that I put up in my yard for Thanksgiving. And then I move on to Christmas, and I have like a nutcracker that his eyes blink and that plays songs from the nutcracker. And I have like this big archway and like a bunch of things. And I had so many inflatables, and my wife she's like, it looks like Nickelodeon in here. I want more Rockefeller Center, less Nickelodeon. So I'm in the process of switching to classy things, which is hard for me because that's not who I am.
This field represents big moments, big challenges, and the need for a team you can trust.
At Holloway and Hulling, we understand what's at stake. We are your advocates in Missoula and Western Montana.
We provide clear, result-driven counsel for criminal defense and personal injury cases.
Our new downtown office is where we turn that strategy into action.
Holloway and Hulling, your advocates for justice and a proud Grizz sponsor.
Jewelry Design Center. We want to be your jeweler for life.
Yo, Sarah, what up, E?
What's going on? Man, those are some nice medals.
Yeah, man, these are hard to come by.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 of them.
Well, that's nothing like going to March Madness, though.
We did go to a national championship.
Okay, guys, whatever. Let's just get on the Montana party bus and head over to Press Box for lunch.
Yeah.
Nuanez now and Skyline Sports, covering Montana athletics and the Big Sky Conference better than anybody. The Montana Party Bus and the Press Box are also proud supporters of Montana athletes.
Hey, cheers to you guys, man. Cheers to Montana. Cheers to chasing more champions.
Well, Talkin Schmidt, life advice, as always.
Yeah.
We don't have a game to talk about from last week for the Grizz or the Cats or any team that's worth a shit, really, besides maybe South Dakota State. And, well, that's actually not true. All the Dakotas that played last week are definitely worth a shit, and they all won last week. And there's only 2 good leagues left in the country. I thought it was hilarious how the entire bracket went chalk, except for Youngstown State just pissing all over themselves and blowing a 42-14 lead.
That was interesting, wasn't it? I watched that game because I was excited about watching Bo Brungard or
Brumgard, yeah.
Brumgard. And he was good in the first half, and then they just shut him down. I was less impressed in the second half, them not being able to get anything done with him. But I made the comment like, hey, playing the future Walter Payton winner in the second round isn't like necessarily fair for the Cats, but they have to win the game, and they didn't win the game. So now they get Yale, and they'll shit stomp Yale. And then all of the Missouri Valley. I made this comment I think last week. It feels like the quarterfinals, 6 of the 8 teams are going to be either Missouri Valley or Big Sky teams. And the only reason that there's 2 that aren't is because they didn't have the opportunity to play.
Right.
So I think that's what's going to happen is you're just going to have Missouri Valley, Big Sky. And at the end of the day, because the FCS is so watered down, it's a glorified Mondac game. And we'll see which Montana and which Dakota school plays for the championship. It's going to be one of them.
We got your Jim Mora in the background. I know you're old man. Coached with Jim Mora once upon a time. That's a good story. Back in the late
playoffs,
when Warren Moon was the Washington Huskies quarterback. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, Jim Mora went on to fame and infamy for some of the great press conference clips ever and had a good NFL career as well. So it's that time of year. Playoffs are here.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. My dad was a GA at University of Washington. His first job out of Wyoming, that wasn't a high school coaching job. And that was the year they went to, it was under Don James, and they went to the Rose Bowl and played Michigan and Warren Moon. I think they won. I think he was the player of the game, beat Michigan 27-20. It's cool. My dad, actually, they're at my mom's house now. He has these Rose Bowl crystal glass, like rocks glasses from 1978 that are like sweet. And I still, when I go back there for Christmas or whatever, put some bourbon in them and have a good holiday with those. But yeah, he was on that. He was with that team, and then he went on and he coached for the Cats. He did all that stuff. Coached for San Diego State and. But yeah, he knows Jim Mora because Jim Mora was there at the same time. So
I blame Warren Moon. I first of all blame my parents because my dad's best friend in high school. My parents went to this crazy prestigious boarding school. They were the only 2 non-elitist rich kids there. It's a long story. We don't need to waste the time on how that all happened. But that's how they got together because they were not from millionaire families. They were like the only 2 normal people at this school. But my dad's best friend, his father was the owner of the Minnesota Vikings in the 70s. So that was
Oh,
my entry
wow.
point to being a Vikings fan. But then when I decided I was going to be is when they had Warren Moon as their quarterback, and Warren Moon was sweet. So I basically blame Warren Moon for now my misery watching fucking Max Howell throw pick sixes like it's his job on Sunday. I mean, this was, I don't know if this is hell on earth or if it's heaven on earth when you know your team sucks so bad that you tease it to the maximum for them to lose in Seattle. I had the Vikings on a 18 and a half point teaser and I hit it because they lost 27-0. But it's
Yeah.
just unbelievable experience to endure that on Sunday.
I when I was watching JJ McCarthy at Michigan, um, I was like, dude, this guy is reckless. Like
Right.
he is reckless with the ball. And a lot of the he had this touchdown against Ohio State, where I think they were driving left to right on the screen, and he throws this touchdown pass on like a post, and there's two Ohio State defenders there. And like it was the perfect like pass to catch for a touchdown, but it should have been picked. And the only reason it wasn't picked was I don't think the DB thought anyone in their right mind would throw that ball like to that spot. He was like, "What? Why would you do that?" And it went for a touchdown. And I remember people talking like JJ McCarthy's going to be the next thing. Dude, he has no idea where the ball is going to go when it leaves his hand.
Yeah.
He has no clue. Like
Yeah.
he just wings it, man.
And the best part is he's out, and Max Brosmer's worse. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like Max Brosmer's
Yeah.
the worst. I mean, Max Brosmer plays for the Vikings because he was just in Minneapolis when all these injuries happened, and they just signed him off the street, and now he's going against the Seattle Seahawks defense
Yeah.
in Seattle. I mean, I honestly feel bad for him because like he can't do it, and there's no way he's always going to be able to do it.
No.
He's screwed.
No. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the dude who was at New Hampshire and then went graduate transfer to
Right.
Minnesota, and then just because he was close.
That's right.
So they needed a guy that was close, and now
That's
he's
right.
starting. Oh,
Yeah.
awful. I feel sorry, Colter. Like a Vikings fan, that's rough. Like
Hey.
98 must still haunt you.
Oh, hey, here's the deal. I actually love what's going on with the Vikings right now because being stuck in Viking purgatory for 25 years, they've never been good enough to win anything of consequence, but also never bad enough to have a good draft pick. They're
Yeah.
always like an 8 to 11 win team. Like even last year when they won 14 games, they still didn't win to the division. Of course, they have to play on the road in the first round. They lose because that's what
Yeah.
the Vikings do. They make the
Mhm.
playoffs and then they lose in the playoffs over and over and over again. And there's no chance for the future. So I'd actually rather have a team that just went 4-13 and got a top 5 pick so we can draft a quarterback. Like that's what I need in my life. I can't keep living Case Keenum, Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz for the rest of my life.
Case Keenum year was magical, though.
Oh, Mr. Electricity, man. He looks like he stuck his finger in the light socket. He's so out of his mind. He doesn't even know what's going on. But man, that was electric for sure. Okay.
Yeah. I just a quick aside. I loved when Case Keenum had that year, and then the Broncos signed him, and John Elway said, "We got our guy." I'm like, oh, this is not going to work out for you.
It's definitely not going to work out. Okay. What do you think of, because we already did our whole moratorium about the rivalry game and all the things that are wrong,
Been hearing about it, yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, you stirred the pot quite a few times. Good job by you. But
20 shares, Coulter. That's what I'm aiming for.
yeah. But all that's in the past now. Grizz have a home game against the National Elite Program on Saturday. What do you think of the draw against South Dakota State?
Yeah, I was listening to a bunch of different opinions on the draw itself. Look, guys, I'm tired of hearing about the draw. Like I'm tired of hearing about it. If you cannot beat South Dakota State at home, you're not going to beat North Dakota State. And in Nashville, you're not going to beat Bozeman. That you're not going to beat the Cats in Bozeman. Like if you can't win this game, obviously you're done. But it's like if you could play those other teams, you're going to lose those games too. So like win and move on, survive and advance. Like this is your only game you get to play this week. This is your one opponent. It's do or die. Like I don't care about the committee not doing the Grizz any favors. Like if Youngstown State doesn't blow the lead, the Cats are going to have to face the Walter Payton winner. Like that's
Right.
not any favors either. You have
Totally.
to win your games. And so I don't care if it's Stephen F. Austin coming to town or if it's Southeast Louisiana or if it's South Dakota State. It's the playoffs. All the teams that are worth a damn are in the tournament, and you're going to have to beat them to win. So this is one of the teams that's worth a damn. Beat them and then move on. Like that's all there is to it. Like the crying about that is stupid.
Well, also the fact that there's like this implication that the committee just like stacked it against the Grizz. Like South Dakota State was outside of the top 20 a couple weeks ago. Like they had to beat North Dakota in overtime to even get into the playoffs. So like it's not like this is some crazy world-beating team. They have great talent. They were as high as number 2 in the polls, but this is a team that lost 4 games in a row during this middle of the regular season.
Lost to Indiana State, who we talked so much shit about, right?
Scored 1 touchdown against Indiana State. Scored 12 points on your home field.
Yeah, at home. Like, and what do you want the committee to do? To just leave them out of the playoffs? They won their last game. They have no idea if Chase Mason is coming back or not, because at that point they had no clue. So you either put them on the same side as the Cats. That's not fair to the Cats. You put them on the Grizz. That's not fair to the Grizz. You put them against Tarleton or against North Dakota State. All not fair to those particular teams. So this is just the draw. If you are good enough, you're going to win this game and you're going to move on. And if you're not good enough, season over. And then I can talk all my shit next week. And trust me, if they lose, I will talk all their shit next week. But I think that the Grizz are a better team. I think they should win this game. I think they're more complete and don't have as many issues as South Dakota State does. So, like, win the game. It's playoffs. Like, you play to win the game. Win the game. Just win the game, and it's fine.
Yep. Well, also, for as much as we have talked about the FCS being watered down and a lot of the blue bloods leaving, et cetera, the Grizz also now have an opportunity and a path to have a very vindicating run, because you have South Dakota State. That's the team that's beat you in the playoffs 2 years in a row. So you have a chance for revenge in that one. Then you're going to play the winner of Mercer and South Dakota. Both those teams are good. And South Dakota was a Final Four team a year ago. Then you probably have Montana State, and then you probably have NDSU if you can take care of business. So, not all playoff runs are created equal. When the Cats made the semis for the first time in however many years, 35 years, when Jeff Choate was the head coach in 2019, like they drew Albany, who was a transitioning D2 team. Then they got Austin P from, the South, who's never been to Bozeman, and it was a negative 8-degree day, and Isaiah Fonse just beat him by himself because it was choke ball, just run the ball 90 times and get the hell out of there, win 28-3 like they did. Okay, you won 2 playoff games, good job, you got to the semifinals, but like imagine if the Grizz win the next couple weeks. Like that's way more of a vindicating run too, and I think that's what you have to look at if you're the Grizz. Like you're saying, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and now you have this path. Okay. Again, like you said, it's perfectly said. You aren't beating NDSU if you can't beat South Dakota State, South Dakota, and Montana State first. So you have a chance to really sort of have an epic run through the playoffs right now if you're Montana.
I think I saw like if they win all the games, it would be against like the 10, the 5, the 2, and the 1 seed. Like that's a that's a hell of a run. That's a gauntlet. But like if they can pull it off, they can beat SDSU and then beat South Dakota, and then if they can beat the Cats, I like their chances in Nashville, like because North Dakota State's not going to be playing that run, that gauntlet, and they're going to be ready, right? So if you want to win, you want vindication, you want to take my words and shove them back in my mouth, that's fine. Go do it against these teams. Go do it. And if you do it, great. You deserve to win the national championship if you go through that run. And you know what? Fuck the Big Sky and losing the first rivalry game. It doesn't mean anything if you make that run. Okay? So go do it. Like I do not care about the committee and all this, those people saying that it's an unfair draw. It's not unfair. It's the playoffs. Play the games. Like it's if you're good enough, you'll win. If you're not good enough, you'll lose this game. That's just the short end of the stick. That's it.
Give me Give me the number one reason why the Grizz can make a run. Like what is the thing that gives you confidence in Montana now that the playoffs are here?
You go back and watch the Cat game, and again, not good enough, not standard, but they were a couple self-inflicted plays away from taking control of that game. Now, do they end up winning it? I don't know, but they have the lead and the ball. The Cats are completely out of position. They leave a guy wide open. The Big Sky Conference Player of the Year, the Defensive Player of the Year, is completely not where he's supposed to be, completely out of position. A ball gets tipped off a guy's hands into his hands, and he runs in for a touchdown, right? Changes the game. And even after that, right?
Caden Deller completely admitted it too. In the post game, he said, "Hey man, I saw the matchup and I saw that we had a linebacker on Wortham, and I knew we were screwed, so I cheated, and I was going to get burned the other way if it wasn't for the cheating, and then the ball bounces right into his hand."
It's just sometimes that happens. They have them stopped on their own 20. Davis fumbles. There's 4 Grizz players in pursuit, and the ball just bounces to a Cat player, right? You get that ball, it's a different game. There's another one where they're running the Wildcat, and Michael Wortham has a choice to either hand the ball off or run the counter. It's kind of like a counter option, right? And he keeps it, gets tackled for a loss in the backfield. If he would have handed it off, it's a 60-yard touchdown run. The Cats had no one. The Grizz had 3-on-2, and they had Monty Gilman, who's fast, on the fly. It would have been a touchdown. So like they were close to, and of course the holding play, which was holding whatever. Those plays, right? If they have a different result, what's the score of that game? I think the Grizz probably win. I don't think it's a blowout or anything, but they are right there. They are right there. They can make a run if they can compete with a team that's as good as the Cats. I truly believe it. And they have 2 games at home if they win, and if the Cats keep winning, they have a game in Montana, in Bozeman, a rivalry game. You can compete with them. I think you have a chance, and it's not like they're getting blown out or they lost that game by 50 like they did the previous years. They still lost at home, but they were there. They were right there. And so with South Dakota State, they have a good defense. This team beat the Cats in Bozeman. Go out and go out and run that stuff that you ran against the Cats. Run against South Dakota State. Don't make the mistakes and beat them by 21. And get your confidence, and then go on a run. And I think they can do that.
The way the ball bounced and all these different things that happens in a lot of different football games, and I think Bobby Houck would be the first one to tell you that. To me, the definitive series that killed the Grizz was the last series, and the fact that they couldn't get off the field. I mean, the Cats got the ball 7 minutes to go, and they didn't give it back. And I mean, the Grizz had them in 3rd and long once, 3rd and medium 2 times, if I remember right, and 4th and 1. There's 4 times you could have got off the field, and you didn't. So I think that's to me the thing is the Grizz are good enough on offense to win the whole thing. In my opinion, they got to be better on defense.
What was it, like 3 minutes left, and they went on it for 4th and 1 at like the 50?
Yep.
You stop that, you win that game. Like you have the 2-minute timeout, and you have the ball at the 50.
Yeah, even a catastrophe, you tie it. Like bare minimum, you're going to get a field goal out of it.
Well, yeah. So like their defense, to your point, it on the line, it needs to be better. Like it needs to. They can't get pushed around like that, because guess what? That's what South Dakota State's going to do. They're gonna try to run the ball. And that's what the Cats are going to do, and that's what North Dakota State's going to do. So, like, we've been building up to this all year, and I keep on saying it, that the Grizz play on both lines is not good enough. And it seemed like the Grizz coaches had a plan for their offensive line in that Cat game. Like, they knew they were not good enough. So they did a lot of different things with reverses and fly sweeps and misdirection, and Cats kept on being in their shell. So they're like, hey, we'll take that 5-yard out with Brooks Davis and he'll beat you around the corner. Like they kept on, they had a plan for that. Get the ball out. I don't think they had a plan for defense. I don't think they did. So like it was evidenced by that last drive. Like I think they were hoping, hey, let's just try to keep it in front of us and hopefully we can make some plays. But if they decide to run the ball 50 times a game, I don't know if they'll hold up. I don't know if they can hold up. I don't think they have the Jimmies and Joes to hold up. So we'll see. I mean, South Dakota State, I'm looking at Chase Mason, his stats, right? He's thrown for 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I know he missed a bunch of games.
Missed 5 games, yep.
But that's like 160 yards a game. Like that's not when he played.
Right.
So like it's not great. So yeah, or it's less than 160 a game. So like yeah, I don't know. They're gonna run the ball. Like they're just gonna run the ball and you gotta try to stop it. And maybe if Keon Loud comes back, that allows for them to bring more pressure and bring more run blitzes. We'll see, but we don't even know if he's coming back. So
yeah.
Thinking about selling your home in Missoula? Here's the truth. Buyers are still out there, but they're being picky. That means how you market your home matters more than ever. I'm Ty Hobbs with Hobbs Homes at Keller Williams, and my job is to make sure your listing stands out. From strategic pricing to professional marketing, stunning photography, and targeted advertising, I'll position your home to attract the right buyers and get you the best price possible. In today's market, it's not just about putting a sign in the yard, it's about telling your home story, creating urgency, and negotiating every dollar in your favor. If you've been on the fence about selling, now's the time to talk strategy. Let's see what your home could sell for and how we can make it happen.
Hello, my name is Kelly Ayat, quarterback at the University of Montana. In the off-season, it's important to do everything you can to prepare for the season. In high school, that means funding your program. In my experience, Vertical Raise is the ultimate online fundraiser platform. Now broaden your reach of your fundraiser and bring in more money than other platforms. And there are no sneaky or hidden fees like other companies. If you're trying to raise money for your program, reach out to Vertical Raise today.
Drink a beer and support a Grizz athlete. DraftWorks is a longtime favorite of beer enthusiasts across the Treasure State, and DraftWorks has created a sessionable, delicious lager that donates part of every sale to the name, image, and likeness efforts at the University of Montana. Up with Montana Lager is a crisp, effervescent beer that pours pale straw in color and greets you with an inviting malty aroma. And it's crafted with Grizz athletes in mind. If you're headed to the tailgate or stocking up to watch football, give back to the NIL Collective at the University of Montana by drinking Up with Montana Lager, proudly created by DraftWorks Brewing.
Cash One Pawn, Missoula's #1 pawn shop.
You want money? We got money. You need money? We got money. We're cash.
Do yourself a favor and make Cash One Pawn part of your online shopping habits. Cash One Pawn has an awesome online inventory, everything from firearms to power tools to speaker equipment to jewelry. Visit Cash One Pawn today.
Cash One Pawn.
8720 Roller Coaster Road, CashOnePawn.com.
The number one impression I had, Talkin Schmidt, presented by Holloway and Hulling, voted Missoula's best law firm for another year. They have more than 40 years of experience. They can help you with criminal defense, family law, personal injury, anything like that. Visit montanalawyers.net to learn more. My number one impression watching South Dakota State in Bozeman in week 2, and that impression carried for about another month before South Dakota State got all sorts of banged up. Dan Jackson told me 7 season-ending injuries is what they had, plus Chase Mason. So that's a significant amount to your starting lineup. But my number one impression was that I thought both those defenses were great. I thought Montana State and South Dakota State were both very good on defense. And I also walked out of there thinking the Cats were only okay on the offensive line. They figured that out because they reshuffled and they got some guys back and they became good on the offensive line. But I also thought South Dakota State was lacking on the offensive line too. Part of that's probably because they were going against the Cat front, which is very good. But I wonder about that matchup because you're right. You look at the South Dakota State offensive numbers. They're very pedestrian. They were last in the league in rushing yards per game. And they have a good running back in Julius Slowridge, but other than that, they're not much run threat. So I just wonder, like, there is a reality in which Montana actually dominates the line of scrimmage on that side of the ball, and
Yeah.
South Dakota State's offensive line isn't as good as it has been. And that would make sense because only North Dakota State replaces NFL guys with NFL guys. Most FCS teams replace NFL guys with guys that aren't as good. And that's, I think, what South Dakota State's going through right now. So I wonder if Montana actually has a chance to dominate the line of scrimmage when South Dakota State has the ball.
If they stop that running attack, like, and again, like you were mentioning the numbers, if they stuff it, I don't know what they're gonna do. Because it's not like he's throwing to a bunch of, Bryce Lance's out there. It's not like there's the Yankee brothers out there. So, if they can stop the running attack and hold up with that offensive line, I don't like it might just be a Chase Mason one-man show, and he's got a bad foot. So I don't know. That it's interesting to me, and I brought it up before. I don't know the chance of this. I don't have any inside information, but Keon Loud preserved his red shirt. He played in 4 games. He played as a true freshman last year. This was his sophomore year. Next year will also be his sophomore year, right? Because he only played in 4 games. So he gets the red shirt, but these games in the postseason don't count. So he can still play. Same with the Beaner brothers and same with like a bunch of other guys that played, right? So I wonder if he's going to play this run or if he's a transfer portal guy. I have no idea. It depends on the agents talking to these guys in their ear, telling them that they should transfer, whatever. But he is a great player. And Kenzel Lawler also turned into a great corner this year. So if you have 2 guys like that can shut down the passing game, and they're just the Grizz can tee off on the run, which is something that they typically do well.
Yep.
That defense is capable of making a run.
Yep.
So again, I don't know if that particular player is playing or not, or what his intentions are. If he plays, that puts the Grizz defense in a lot different position than it was even for the Cat game.
Yep. You cannot understate when you play this specific scheme how important having a dominant inside guy on the defensive line is and having 2 corners. One is not good enough because one makes then all the other positions so vulnerable. And we've seen this. Like, when were the Grizz at their best defensively? 21 when they had Justin Ford and Corbin Walker. 23 when they had Corbin Walker and who was their other lock? Oh, Trevin Gradney. But then when it was just Gradney, big weakness. The pass defense fell apart, right? Lawler, I thought Lawler got jobbed, not getting all conference. I think he should have gotten all conference because, I mean, he progressed to be very good. But I think that the thing that held any of the DBs for Montana back from getting all conference is they were last in the league in passing defense.
Right.
I think coaches look at that, they're like, well, I'm not voting for any guy on that team because they give up 290 yards a game passing. But I do think if Loud can be back, I think it changes the entire complexion of their defense. You can bring more pressure. You can put guys on islands. And I mean, let's be honest, Loud's their best player. So, I mean, he's their best defensive player. Having him back would be a huge shot in the arm for Montana.
Yeah. I mean, you just think of what they could bring pressure-wise. Because if you have Lawler and you have Loud and you have Harper and Diesel Wilkinson, right? Those guys, all good players and all being able to hem up defenders or wide receivers. Well, then shit, how many guys can you bring? I mean, you could bring Solo and Wing and Tolbert and Otluski all in the same play. You know what I mean? Like it could be relentless pressure because you know that like Loud's got it. Like, you know that Lawler's got it. So it would change the game. And like for the Cat game as an example, I think Dowler's going to get his yards, kind of no matter what. Good players get their yards. But if he is kind of hemmed into a degree and it's just all you have to worry about is the run, like that's a different game. Like that I'm not saying the end result is any different, but that's a different scenario and different plays happen and different strategy goes into it. And getting your best player back on defense would be great. And I don't know, again, I have no idea. The agent, lawyer, selfish player in me would tell that kid to get in the portal and go to Utah, you know? But if I were him, or what I would do, but if like for the Grizz fan in me wants to see him make a run with this team and then find out what you're doing after. So we'll see. I have no idea, but that's a big issue.
Okay, so there's the points of optimism. What's the points of pessimism? What's the thing that makes you doubt that the Grizz can make a run to the national championship game or even deep into the playoffs?
Well, I think this game, I'm cautiously optimistic on this game. I don't think that the Grizz can beat Bozeman and Bozeman. The Cats are just going to run the ball more and better in Bozeman. And they're also going to not allow you to get the 5-yard hitch like out every time that ate you alive. Like they're going to take a look at that and be like, all right, we're in our shell, but let's just play press man off the line and not let that happen. And then we'll play shell behind it. And they'll limit the big plays like that. And I just don't think that game is that close in Bozeman. And it's because their line play is not as good. And they don't have the guys on the line that the Cats do. They just don't. You guys can tweet at me all of your all conference shit that you want. All conference nods are not only individual awards, they're team awards. So the better a team does, the more all conference guys they get. The players, the coaches nominate their guys. And then all of the Portland states and the Idaho states and the Northern Colorados, that they vote on these players, all the coaches, and say, well, we got our asses kicked by those guys. And they're 7-1 in conference, 8-0 in conference. And so they vote for, right? It doesn't mean that much to me when you take a look at the Cat lines and the Grizz lines. And I don't believe that there is a single Grizz player on the lines of either line, maybe Liam Brown, that would play for the Cats, that would start for the Cats. I think they would all be depth guys or not play. So, like, that's the issue. That's the issue, guys. Like, you could tell me, hey, we've got this offensive lineman from Washington or wherever who got an all conference nod. I don't give a shit. Would he play for the Cats? No. Did the Cats beat us by bully balling us? Yes. So, like, this is a production-oriented business.
Right.
You play the games. You don't win games by getting all conference nods. Like, for fuck's sake.
I think that fans have a hard time too grasping because the NFL and the commentating in the NFL, they hammer home the quarterback position so hardcore. And it's certainly the most important position in team sports. It's less important in college football than it is in the NFL, and it's less important in the FCS than it is in the FBS. And it's not to say that the teams that have dominated the last 15 years, even the last 20 years, haven't had good quarterbacks. They have. But it's the lines that is the thing that is dividing the haves and the have-nots. UC Davis has had multiple quarterbacks that are good enough to win a national championship. I mean, Jake Mayer was a Big Sky MVP, and he's still playing up in Calgary. I mean, he's still making money as a professional starting quarterback. Miles Hastings was a 4-year starter who threw for like 10,000 yards. He's good enough. Land Larison, the running back, he plays for the Patriots. He's good enough. The skill guys have been good enough. That's just UC Davis, for an example. Like, Ayat is good enough. Tommy Malott is good enough. It's the lines that is the thing that's been holding these teams back. And I think that until that is acknowledged and progresses, it's going to be the dividing factor for forever.
Yeah, and I think they're better than they were. Like, I think the Grizz line last year was ass. And
they're better than they were last year, but are they actually better in total since Bobby Houck took over? Like, I would take the 2019 line over this line. Like, Dylan Cook is better than anybody on this line. Cy Sermon is a better center than anybody that they got on this team.
Yeah.
Conlon Beaver is like same with me for Cannon Pamphilov.
Yeah. Well, to your point, yeah. I mean, the 2.0 on the line has been not great. Like, not great. And I've just been watching the other side of Butte over there, that team get better on the line. They just have. They've gotten guys that are either going to the NFL, or they're transferring to Michigan State, or they're transferring to Washington or Texas Tech or Cal or whatever. And we don't really have those guys anymore. Like the gone are the days of the Colin Dow and J.D. Quinn and Brent Russum and Taryn Hillsland and Chris Dyke and Levi Horn and like those guys, Corey Proctor, like those, where are those guys for us? They don't exist. And, signing days today, maybe we'll know if they signed any good ones in a couple years. Who knows? With signing day, you don't really know whether a guy is going to be a player until usually 2 or 3 years after. So maybe I shamed them into changing their behavior and recruiting good linemen. I don't know. We don't know about any team at the moment, but hopefully they got better. I don't know.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Right down the road, pump it up, oh yeah.
1959, at Street's Grocery in Whitefish, Montana's special spice was born. Alpine Touch. It's the taste you grew up with, well seasoned through the test of time, as the tradition carries from one Montana generation to the next. From its humble beginnings to a trusted brand, here's to the next 60 years. Alpine Touch. Montana's special spice since 1959.
So will you marry me in your future? Or maybe you do it all over again. Hi, I'm Brian Toon with Jewelry Design Center, inviting you to come see the largest selection of Will You Marry Me in the state of Montana. The brightest diamonds of every shape and size, unique settings built to last, and skilled jewelers on site offering free sizing and maintenance for life, because that's how long we want to be your jeweler. Jewelry Design Center in Missoula, on Brooks, across from the Montana Club.
Being in this industry since I was in college, one of the things I think we take the most pride in is Aspen Sound's been such a presence in Missoula for almost 40 years. The cool parts about our job is people always ask me, what do you do for a living? I sell fun, whether it's as simple as window tint all the way up to integrating a backup camera into a factory screen. I'm pretty excited about the options we can present.
I think that what's coming on Saturday is an incredibly pivotal moment for the Montana football program. Because if they win, especially if they win in resounding fashion, first of all, you got revenge, you got vindication, you knocked the team out that knocked you out the last couple of years, you get the payback for the national championship game loss. It's also a really good win. I mean, I think you could argue it'd be their best win of the year, no matter what South Dakota State has gone through this year. And it also gives you a chance to then propel. You wash the taste out of your mouth from the Montana State game. You take momentum into the quarters. I think that whoever you play in the quarters will be a easier opponent than South Dakota State. I mean, South Dakota beat South Dakota State, so maybe not. But I mean, I do think that it would be a more favorable matchup. You also got it at home, and you have a chance to really build some momentum. And you get to the Final Four and you lose at Bozeman, whatever. It's not whatever, but it's a good season still, right? It's still a 13-win year. You got to the Final Four. There's not a ton of glaring question marks. It's such a pivotal moment for the program, though, because if you lose at home and you go 0-2 barbecue in the 2 games that you had served up on your platter at Washington Grizz, that is SOS. Like, you have some questions to answer at that point.
That's hit the ripcord type situation, right? Like we know there's 4 good teams in FCS football. Like that's it. And if you lose to 2 of the other 3, not great. Kind of shows like this whole transfer portal heavy, not recruiting Montana kids, not developing them doesn't really work now, does it? So this is like a a model game to see if your model works. And if you lose it, it clearly doesn't. It doesn't. And you lose to South Dakota State 3 years in a row. One time on your home field, one time on theirs, and one time in Frisco. Like, not great. And there's probably, you could do a autopsy on that, but I guarantee you what's going to be first and foremost as to why you lost is because your lines are ass in comparison to theirs. So until you guys want to, decide that you want to have everything, that you want the best Montana kids and you want the transfers and you want the best talent and you want to develop them with a strength coach who knows what the shit they're doing, then you're just going to lose these games. But maybe it works. Maybe it might work, Colter. But by the way, I got this text from a former player, teammate of mine. And some people got on me about the strength of the got on me about going after the strength coach. Look, guys, all I know is that our guys don't look as strong or as built or on the line play are physically capable based on the results as other teams, including the Cats. And I mentioned a guy by name, and I got texted, God, I'm glad you're talking about that Dan Ryan is our strength coach. Dan Ryan, question mark, question mark, question mark. He has never been the answer to any question ever asked. So, like, I'm sorry, guys, that I call a guy out by name, but it's like the guy who ran the scout team is now our strength coach, and we're getting beat in the trenches, and we're not strong enough. Like, maybe we should invest in a strength coach. Maybe we should donate to the program to fund this.
At the end of the day, this is a leadership decision-making problem, not a Dan Ryan problem, right? Like,
sure.
The guy just got hired and he's just doing his job. And if he's not up to par with his job and that's not good enough, it's the people that are the higher ups, including the head coach of the football team, that need to evaluate that, period.
I mean, how long has he been messing this up for? 7 years? Like, have the lines been good since then? Like, I'm sorry. Like, do I know most or everything about strength and conditioning? No, I don't. Okay. I just know the results based off the 7 years, like you're talking about. Have they been good on the line since in 2.0? No. And they've not been strong. So, like, this is a production-oriented business. And from what I understand, as I was told, I don't know if you told me this or someone else, Sean Heron's like the top paid assistant for the Cats or something like that. Like, he's one of the top paid assistants.
He's one of the top paid coaches, period, at Montana State, yes.
So, like, invest in that. Right. And maybe these guys that you got that didn't play, that are Montana kids that you thought were going to be okay, maybe they develop into something. Maybe. But I can tell you that the Cat kids, seems like whoever they're getting from Montana, are developing into good players.
Yes.
Would they have developed into good players at Montana with our strength and conditioning program? Maybe not. I don't know the answer to that. But I can tell you based on the results, we're not winning there. So we need to invest. Like, whoever out here is listening to this, and I don't know why you're listening to me every week talk shit on the Grizz, but if you are listening to this, put some money into the program and say, I want this to go directly to a strength coach that is worth a shit. That would help.
There's telltale signs too. It's not just eye test. Prevalence of soft tissue injuries is always related, oftentimes at least related to training. Pro day results, it's not everything, but it's another entry point. It's another telltale. But it's more than anything, it's the development. Like, think about how many stories there were in Bobby Houck 1.0 of the guy coming in as a raw 3-sport athlete who didn't know what he was doing, and then you lock him in the weight room and he becomes Bierman or Steven Failer or Colt Anderson or just
Dan
on
Bowden.
down the line. Dan Bowden, like, as they come in and you're like, oh, who's that tall, skinny kid? And then they come out after their redshirt year and you're like, what the fuck is that house, right?
Chris Dyke was a monster, man. And he didn't come in like 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 he was always big, but like he became like a dominant dude, you
Totally.
know? And we had tons of guys like that, tons of guys who just came in and went in the weight room and ate the Grizz burrito at the country store. And, you know, I said that last week that like they need to have like a training table program as well. Like if you are listening to this and you want to invest in something, do what like Alabama does and invest in a sport only training table facility where you can keep track of and feed the kids 3 meals a day and all their protein and all their whatever. That would help. Like that would help. Like we had to go to the country store and we had the Grizz plan. Like that, it sucks. And I'm sure that's all they have still.
Right for my NIL deal. Anybody can steal this from me. Whoever's listening, Montana State, anybody else. Montana is one of the biggest cattle states in the country. Go find yourself a couple ranchers and have them, because now you can just donate, right? Everybody can donate everything. You donate half beefs, quarter beefs to everybody on the team, right? Get yourself. Okay, here's my. If I'm a rich rancher and I want the Grizz, I want to make an impact. I'm buying a bunch of meat freezers and donating a bunch of quarter or half cows. Just saying, okay, you play on the front seven or you play on the line, boom, your house gets a quarter of a cow. Eat up, boys.
Yeah. Like I remember when we were playing, Alex Verlanik wanted us to, we were trying to get a quarter beef from him or a half beef from him. And he's like, yeah, just come out with me. We'll shoot it in the field and dress it and then take it home. I'm like, what? Like, that's okay. I mean, that's a little out of my wheelhouse, but sure. But yeah, guys like that, like you can find ways to make sure that these kids are trained well and fed well. And I mentioned this before, like Alabama's facility is awesome because you just go in there and you're like, you sign your card and you're an athlete for the school. They have everything you could possibly want, from a grill to a salad bar to a smoothie center to whatever. And it keeps track of everything. So like that would be beneficial. I mean, right now, when I played, we got muscle milk. We got one muscle milk from like a day. Like that's not great. That doesn't make sure that guys are getting the nutrition that they need. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways that we can help develop players, not only through strength training, but through stuff like that. Making sure that each guy, if they each had a quarter beef to eat through the season, well, it would be gone through like 2 weeks, I feel like, but it would that would really help. So if you guys want the Grizz to be better on the lines and better overall, like don't tweet at me, donate money and find a way to do this to help. Like you can tweet at me, I can take that, but that's not helping them. That's not. I'm just trying to put this information out there so you guys are all aware that what we're doing isn't good enough. And then maybe we can all find a solution to fix it.
Got a shitstorm this week?
Isn't that another one? Isn't that like just a full like
That's fine. That can be the shitstorm.
Yeah. Guys, there's a little secret here. When I first agreed to come on this show, to come on with Colter once a week, he got a lot of pushback from Cat fans. And Colter plays both sides of the fence here because he has to, right? He does content for the Cats and the Grizz, and they both want advertising and features on them. And a lot of the Cat sponsors were really hesitant to keep giving funding to Colter because of me, okay? Colter told them, you guys have no idea. He's going to talk more shit on the Grizz than he ever will on the Cats. And so he's right, because I actually care about the Grizz and I want to make them better. And when I see something that sucks, I want to make it better. I don't actually give a shit about the Cats besides 1 week a year. And if they pick the championship, I'll care that game and root for the other team. But I care about Montana, and I care about making them the best they can possibly be. And in order to do that, we got to look in the mirror and we got to do a bunch of different things. And you know what? Maybe it works this year. Maybe they are pissed off and they go on a run and they trick it up and they go on this magical run and win the national championship. There can be years like this when you rely on transfers almost exclusively. Okay. However, there's also going to be years like last year where they are just 100% ass and they miss on every transfer and we get beat by 30 to the Cats and we go out. Like there'll be years like that too. And if you guys are up for that and you guys think that that's worth it, then great. That's completely your decision and what you want. All right. That's your flavor of tea, so to speak. However, I want them to be North Dakota State. I want them to be dominant all the time. I want them to have all of the best linemen and all of the Dowlers and Brats and Marshes. And I want them to have all of those guys and the Eli Gilmans and the Michael Worthams and the Micah Harper. I want them to have everything and to be dominant and win games by 50-0 every time. And I don't ever want to lose a game or have a down year. So my main thing is making sure that you guys are all aware of where the deficiencies lie and how we can fix them and make this team as good as it is as long as possible and as consistently as possible. So that's what I want. So get after me all you want on signing day and on all conference and whatever. I'm fine with that. But I want them to be the best all the time, not just part of the time.
And the last thing I'll add to that is I think we have not a judgment day, but if the Grizz make a run this year and they also have to do the portal extravaganza again next year, we're going to know if they are better at recruiting the portal if they actually suck because they lost early in the playoffs, or if they can actually recruit the portal while also winning. Because it's my opinion that the transfers from last year weren't good because they only had 6 days to recruit them because they played in the national championship. And the transfers this year were good because they had a month and a half to recruit them because they lost in the second round. If this Grizz team makes a run and then they go back in and do the portal thing again, and those guys are good, great. They made progress. They figured it out. They know how to evaluate a little bit better. They have a better plan. If they make a run and then they go the portal route and they bring in a bunch of Monmouth and Youngstown State shitbag terrible players, then we know that those two things correlate and they're going to have to find a new strategy. So
yeah,
as Andrew always says, I have no dog in the fight in this deal, but I want both Montana and Montana State to be as good as possible. And certainly I want my alma mater to be as good as possible. And we only point these things out because we care.
Yeah, absolutely. And they need, I read that article on USC. And again, Montana is not USC, it doesn't have close to the resources as USC. But it was a lot of the same shit. It was like USC was really good when they were recruiting their home turf, wouldn't let players leave. And then they stopped after Pete Carroll left, and that coincided with them turning to shit. And so USC like got some transfers, hasn't been like the best. They just signed the number one class in the country again by recruiting their backyard. And what they did is they hired that guy Bowen from Notre Dame to be basically their GM and money manager, so to speak, of how they pay those guys. And that's Montana can't do that, but they certainly could get a player personnel director to help ease the burden of recruiting and finding guys that are worth a shit, like USC is doing, right? Again, needs more money. So if you guys have money, that's another thing to donate towards so that we have a position that can do that, because it pays dividends. USC would not have the number one class in the country without that guy. It's not a Lincoln Riley issue. It's a school. How are we going to get these guys? How are we going to recruit? How are we going to fund these guys? And Montana needs to look towards that because that's the future of football. It is.
Good one this week. We'll either be doing a quarterfinal preview or a moratorium. So we might burn the house down again a week from now. We'll see. Or maybe not. We'll see. That's why I really do. I think this is I've covered the Grizz for 19 years now. I think this is one of the most pivotal games in the history of their program.
Whether Bobby's model works or not, it's exciting. We'll see.
Talkin Schmidt, presented by Holloway and Holing, MontanaLawyers.net to find out more about the best legal representation in the state of Montana. Thanks, Andrew.
Yep, no problem.